Chapter 10. Further Use of the Will. You cannot retain a true and clear vision of good, abundant life if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they be external or imaginary. Do not overly dwell on your past troubles of a financial nature. If you have had them, do not think of them at all. Do not give much, if any, energy to the telling of the poverty of your parents or the hardships of your early life. To give of yourself to do any of these things is to potentially mentally shackle yourself, and it may be that it checks the movement of things in your direction. Let the dead bury the dead, as Jesus said. You have accepted a certain theory of the universe as being correct, and are resting all your hopes of happiness on its being correct. And what can you gain by giving heed to conflicting theories? Do not read religious books which tell you that the world is soon coming to an end. And do not read the writings of muckrakers and pessimistic philosophers who tell you that it is going to the devil. The world is going to God. It is a wonderful becoming. True, there may be a good many things in existing conditions which are wrong, but what is the use of studying them at length when they are certainly passing away, and when the prolonged study of them only tends to suspend their passing and keep them with us? Why give time and attention to things which are being removed by evolutionary growth, when you can hasten their removal by promoting the evolutionary growth as far as your part of it goes? No matter how horrible in seeming may be the conditions in certain places, countries, or sections, you waste your time and arrest your chances by continuously immersing in them. You should interest yourself in mankind becoming abundant. Think of the bounty the world is coming into instead of the poverty it is growing out of, and bear in mind that the only way in which you can assist the world in its growing wealth, in its growing good life, is by growing yourself through the creative method, not the competitive one. Give your attention wholly to abundance, to good life. Whenever you think or speak of those who are poor, think and speak of them as those who are becoming aware, as those who are to be congratulated and encouraged. Then they and others will catch the inspiration and begin to search for the way out. Because I say that you are to give your whole time and mind and thought to good life, it does not follow that you are to be sordid, miserly, or mean. To become really abundant in body, mind, and spirit is the noblest aim you can have in life, for it includes everything else. On the competitive plane, the struggle to have good life is a godless scramble for power over other men. But when we come into the creative mind, all this is changed. All that is possible in the way of greatness and soul unfoldment, of service and lofty endeavor, comes by way of abundance. All is made possible by the pursuit of good life. Only those who are emancipated from financial worry and who have the means to live a worry-free existence and follow hygienic practices can have and retain health. Moral and spiritual greatness is possible only to those who are free from the competitive battle for existence, and only those who are wealthy on the plane of creative thought are free from the degrading influences of competition. If your heart is set on domestic happiness, remember that love flourishes best where there is an ease, a high level of thought, and freedom from corrupt influences. And these are to be found where good life is attained by the exercise of creative thought without strife or rivalry. You can aim at nothing so great or noble, I repeat, as to obtain abundant life. You must fix your attention upon your mental picture of good life, to the exclusion of all that may tend to dim or obscure the vision. You learn to see the fundamental and underlying truth in all things. You see through and beyond all seemingly wrong conditions. The great one life, ever moving forward toward fuller expression and more complete happiness. It is the truth that there is no such thing as poverty in nature, that there is only unlimited access to and free use of many things. Some people remain in poverty or lack because they are ignorant of the fact that there is unlimited access to and free use of many things for them. And these can be best taught by showing them the way to good life in your own person and practice. Others are poor or lacking because, while they feel that there is a way out, they are too intellectually indolent to put forth the mental effort necessary to find that way and travel it. And for these, the very best thing you can do is to arouse their curiosity, arouse their desire by showing them the happiness that comes from being rightly aligned. Others still are poor because, while they have some notion of science, they have become so swamped and lost in the maze of metaphysical and occult theories that they do not know which road to take. Note, or swamped and overwhelmed by the incessant and seemingly urgent challenges and crises of life. End note. They try a mixture of many systems and fail. For these, again, the very best thing to do is to show the right way in your own person and practice. An ounce of doing things is worth a pound of theorizing. The very best you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. You can serve God and mankind in no more effective way than by living abundantly. That is, if you have obtained a good life by the creative method and not by the competitive one. Read this every day. Keep it with you. Commit it to memory. And do not think about other systems and theories. If you do, you will begin to have doubts and to be uncertain and wavering in your thought, and then you will begin to arrest your movement. After you have made good and obtained abundance, you may study other systems as much as you please, but until you are quite sure that you have gained what you want, do not read anything else on this line, unless it be the authors mentioned in the preface. And read only the most optimistic comments on the world's news, those in harmony with your picture. Also, suspend your investigations into the occult. Do not dabble in theosophy, spiritualism, or kindred studies. It's very likely that the dead still live and are near, but if they are, let them alone. Mind your own business. Now, This and the preceding chapters have brought us to the following statement of basic facts. There is an intelligent presence from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this intelligence produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. Mankind can form things in our thought, and by impressing our thoughts upon formless intelligence, can cause the thing we think about to be created. In order to do this, we must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. We must form a clear mental picture of the things we want and hold this picture in our thoughts with the fixed purpose to get what we want and the unwavering faith, trusting that we do get what we want, closing our mind against all that may tend to shake our purpose, dim our vision, or quench our faith. Note, there is more than enough for all. The universe conspires to give us our heart's desires. No one is poor because nature is poor. End note. And in addition to all this, we shall now see that we must live and act in a certain way.